No,
sorry.
we're about to open it up now. How many parents do we have? Okay. Do you hear what's happening in Claremont, California? There was almost an all-out fisticuffs. This kindergarten tradition over in Southern California had these two grammar schools switch roles every year, where one school plays the Pilgrim and the other school plays the Indian. And they get together and reenact, and they make their own hats. They get together and reenact Thanksgiving. Well, one woman who's an Indian, sent from the Seneca tribe, said this is an insult. This is like reenacting slavery. This is like a Jew sitting down with a pleasant Nazi. How dare you do this? Let's stop it. Other parents say, you got to be kidding me. I want my kid to dress like an Indian, Native American, whatever the going term
Native
is.
American.
But do you see some merit in moving on? Is it archaic to celebrate Thanksgiving traditionally, Tracy?
No.
Do you want your kids dressed like Native Americans?
Yes, it's adorable. I have the cutest little picture of my 5-year-old with feathers and everything. Love it. They're learning about the Indians, the Pilgrims. They work together. It's
Mike,
adorable.
we don't watch All in the Family anymore for a reason. People say we're not ready for it.
It was a chauvinist pig, though.
Right, but it was a
Bunker.
comedy. But I'm just saying, should we move past it?
It was made by a huge liberal to make the point, right? I mean, it was, and this is, I mean, I think we're incredibly oversensitive to a lot of this stuff. Doesn't mean that their issues, Native American issues, aren't extremely important, but there's a time and a place, and that the two don't need to be mutually exclusive. You don't have to get rid of one in order to talk about the other, and we end up losing pieces of what make us Americans, or what make us Jews, or what make us African Americans, if we ignore the tradition that goes along with some of these things.
Well, I try to live my life, and it doesn't always work, is that I don't try to go out and intentionally give people grief. I sometimes do it unintentionally.
Right.
So to go and do this, I would say, I would be a little bit sensitive if somebody is a little bit,
Andre, I mean, can you see is this something that would make you fight another parent?
This is part of the American story, and it would be like denying slavery and feeling that you can't.
But we don't celebrate slavery.
You don't. But
Did you celebrate Harriet Tubman?
But I don't think we're celebrating this in the spirit of abuse and taking advantage of Native Americans. I think it's a positive story, so I just don't see this as an issue.
Well, and for me, Brian, I've always taken the side of the turkeys because they're the ones who lose. They always lose, no matter who eats them. They're eaten.
Right.
So I don't really care.
How many years ago?
I'm on the turkey
But Brian,
side.
my daughter brought this beautiful piece of paper home. She wrote about how the Native Americans and the Pilgrims worked together to create the Thanksgiving feast. We should have more of that.
Like then we got along. We thought the Indians, it was going to be great to have you in your own country. We enjoyed taking it piece by piece. And we thought it would be fantastic, right? We thought it was going to get along. It just went south later on.
We brought lots of diseases and stuff with us.
Not on purpose. Yeah, it was a cramped boat. Thing led to another.
But if we start doing this, we've already, discounted Columbus. Did Columbus really, discover America? And then, everybody's confused, saying, well, what holiday are we celebrating here? So I think you have to some point say there's some tradition here. It may not be the full story. It may not tell the whole historical context, but, it's celebrating us, people coming in for religious freedom, working collectively with the Native Americans, and celebrating that, and giving thanks for being here. So I think, you put a fine point out. We won't celebrate anything.
But wait a minute. But supposing someone is offended by that, is it?
No, they are offended. Believe me.
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying. Well, if they're offended, I heard it was only one person. I don't know if it was a whole group of people.
Yeah, it was a group of people. Oh, yeah.
It's like cockroaches. Where there's one, there's hundreds.
But listen, but here's the deal, Tracy. I'm going to try to restore your career by moving past that. Thank you. But here's the thing. They're trying to take Redskins all out of Washington. They're trying to take the Indians out of Cleveland. They want to change it. They've done that. They've done that with the Braves. They used to be the Redmen in St. John's. Now they're the Red Storm.
Right.
The Flying Dutchman at Hofstra, I'm not sure, but I guess Dutchmen don't like to be told they could fly.
But what about the Fighting Irish? I always had a problem with that one.
There you
the little
go.
guy with the
But the Irish can't organize. They think about organizing, they end up in a big party. What were we here for? I have no
maybe
idea.
they actually thought Fighting Irish is exactly what we do. I'm not too sure.
Notre Dame school. Let's forget it.
We don't use paddy wagon anymore?
Yeah, we don't use paddy wagon anymore. What a shame. But because the Irish are still getting arrested. All right. So where do we end? Let's talk about Thanksgiving. Is this going to be a Christmas where the rich, and you know more of them than anyone, Tracy, because you cover them, you're on the floor.
Oh, okay.
I mean, these are not the Donald Trumps of the world. The average everyday person was getting very wealthy, have to turn to their kids and say, not this year. Santa has got a lighter load. Do you see it as it impacted that far, that long, to that many?
Friday will be interesting to see how that turns out, but I also think that
more than interesting, don't you think?
Yes, yes, but people take it with a grain of salt, because I also think people will be waiting. The closer you get to the holidays, the bigger your discounts are going to be. I think Mom and Dad are going to be Santa. I think little Johnny's going to get exactly what he wants, but Mom and Dad are going to be very, very careful about what they buy, how they buy it, where it comes from. Odds are good it's going to be Walmart, Costco, stuff like that, as opposed to walking into, whatever.
So smart shoppers like we used to be.
That's what you're going to see.
Right.
I think that's what you're going to see.
Yeah, we just came out of the field with some research on this, actually. And what people are looking for are not the lowest prices. They're looking for the best value. So they're trying to find ways where they can get their kids and their family members what they promised, but they want to do it in the most economical way possible.
Like, John, get the poison toys. Just tell your kids not to lick them, because they're cheaper. I mean, that's basically what we're looking at.
You're on a roll today,
Keep them in their
You're
pack.
Right, keep them in the